Hi everyone, this is Deborah. Welcome back. So I've made myself this board. I've just done it on a manila folder and I was going through a scrap box and I started to just stick things down. So that's where we are. And I also put some gold paste on it using a stencil, through a stencil. So the gold pieces you can see here. And then today I wanted to do a bit more to it because I'm going to cut it up. I think they're calling them a collage board or something like that. But, you know, we've been making these things for years like this. So I thought that I would get it in frame first for you. And almost, it's a little bit big actually, get it completely in frame. And then I'm going to do some stamping on it. I've pulled out some stamps. I've got this one here, which is Tim Holtz stamp. It's Staples. And I've got a few others that I wanted to pull out because I need to go through my stamps and sort of, you know, find out what's going on with them. They're everywhere. I'll just pull that one out for now. And also some Ranger archival ink in black that I have. Now this one is going to be too big to fit on the stamp block, so I'll probably just use it in pieces. It's just an alphabet. I'll just get it up the right way. First this way. And before I do that, I thought I might do a bit of spraying. I'm really not sure yet if I should spray. Maybe I'll skip the pink for now and I'll just might put some green on it. So this is a Distress Oxide Spray, Shabby Shutters. Give it a quick shake. Just to mix the two pieces. And I'll put some sprays over bits of it. Okay, and then I'll probably do some in the brown as well, and the brown is ground espresso. I haven't really used these very much. You can see why I put the paper towel on top, because it will come out when you shake it. Okay. I might put a bit on this and a bit down here as well. I think that's possibly enough. In fact, it might even be too much. Just dab some of that off while I can. Dab it around a bit. I just really want those splatters. I don't want so much. See how that's gone through there? That's really nice. Some of the others, not so nice, but I guess I can work out if I'm going to keep those pieces or not. Okay, so that's that bit. And then add some stamps to it before I chop it up and make it into something. I didn't actually cover all of the manila folder. You can see here there's some spacing through there. Up here there's a bit more spacing, so I don't think that it's important that you cover every inch of whatever substrate you're working with, unless you don't like the colour of it, unless it's like, you know, bright orange or something and that's not the look you're going for. And I wanted to see about this one too. As I said, I haven't got a stamp block. I probably do have one that's big enough somewhere, but I just wanted to see about this one. This is just an alphabet. It's just a string of alphabets, A to Z. So I think that's enough of that as well. I've got some little stamps somewhere, but I might grab those out after I chop this up and make them into tags or postcards or something like that. What I've done is I've cut all of these up into different sizes. A lot of them are 6x4 or thereabouts, and there were some that were a bit thinner, so I'm going to make these ones into tags. But once they're cut up, they actually look pretty cool. I don't actually like them when they're sitting on the board. I think they look a bit weird, but when you've chopped them all up, and now I'm going to decorate some, you'll find that they actually turn out pretty well. So I'm going to start with some more stamps. I'm not sure how they're going to show. And I wanted this one and this one. I don't know whether these postmark ones are going to show or not on the page. Might all be a bit dark, but at least it'll be a lesson for me to figure out whether or not next time I do it in paler colours. Okay. Again, I'm using that black archival ink, and I just want to find something that looks a bit like a postcard. Yeah, it's not going to show up really well. Oh, you can still see it though. This stamp is called, I don't know what, oh, it's just called Postcard Stamp. And it's Couture Creations, and I bought it, it was $2. So I thought that was a pretty good bargain. I got another one here from them, also $2, called Cursive, and it's just a little thing of, you know, printed fonts and things. And then I do have this one, which is from Art Stamp by Carabel Studio. This one was more expensive, and it's a hand, so it's actually just the finger pointing hand, but I quite liked it, so that's why I bought it. Pull that off there. I haven't ever used it, can you tell? I think you take the backing off, and otherwise it won't stick, and put it on, and then we'll see if we can get a hand stamp anywhere here. I've got that stamped on there, and then I've actually got a bunch of real stamps, so they're old, but they're real, these ones, and I'm going to use something that's hopefully going to tone in. Paper doll on the page, on the card as well. And these are just going into my bucket of ephemera, so that when the handmade ephemera that I'm making and collecting and using as well, so when I need something to finish off a journal or to add to a journal as I'm going through it, then I can just grab it out and put it on. And then I'm going to ink edges. I'm just using a sponge and distress ink in frayed burlap. It's the one that happens to be out of the cupboard at the moment, that's why I'm using it. It's also because it's one of my big ones. I've only got 2 in the big size. Yeah, that looks much better with the edges inked. Alright, so there's one. And I wanted to do a tag as well, so I've got my scissors, and I'm just going to work out this way is up. Looks more like this way, but because everything's up the wrong way, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to make this way up. And I'm randomly chopping the corners to make a tag shape. I didn't measure, just chopped. Ink these edges. And this should give me quite a few, I'll count in a minute, but it should give me quite a few pieces of ephemera to restock my pile, which has gone down seriously because I used it all on a journal. 1, 2. So this is a dozen pieces of ephemera to add to my stash. He needs to lean against something, and I don't have anything for him to lean against. Put this little girl on here. She's cute. When I go to use them, I can actually add some more things onto them then. I haven't got my hole punch out, but I'll probably punch a hole and put some stuff in there. At the moment, this is kind of like an interim step. So there's a tag done. Got another postcard here. This is the one I started with before. Put a stamp down so that it looks a bit more like a postcard. And of course, And I might put a couple of people on here as well. I can find some that are going to fit without looking too big for it. They're too big. Luckily the people come in all shapes and sizes. I'm moving her up so that his hand is behind her back. I want them sitting on, standing on the same spot so they look like they're in the same picture. And I'll tuck his hand behind her so it looks like he's holding her back. That's very cute, isn't it? Yeah, so I think that these are a really good way of making a whole bunch of ephemera at one time. So I'm going to leave it there and I'll continue making them and adding them into my box of ephemera, and you'll probably see me using them in the not too distant future. This is Deborah. Thanks for watching. Cheers.